From South Central Los Angeles, California, this is Oliver El Gallo Negro Galicia.
Welcome back, MarvNation. It's the Vivacious Vanessa Martinez, and I am here alongside Oliver Galicia, who's going to be fighting April the 2nd, the Derby Room in Pomona, California, on the MarvNation card. Mr. Galicia, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling today?
Really good, really good. Coming straight from the gym. Got some rounds in, got some good solid rounds in with some good decent sparring partners. Training alongside with Carlos Morales. He's giving me some tips in there. He's giving me advice. So it's everything in my camp is going pretty good. Everything's coming together.
So it looks like you're having an amazing training camp, getting yourself ready for April the 2nd. You're going against a tough opponent. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I feel really good actually. I feel like every single fighter has a period where they have to get tested, and especially if they believe that they deserve to be up in the big leagues, obviously you have to get tested. And I mean, when that happens early on in their career, it shows a lot, at least. So I mean, like I said in the press conference, like I appreciate the fact that he even wanted to take the fight, because I got offered a couple other fights and we said yes, and the other opposite team said no. So everybody's protecting their O, everybody's trying to have a good winning record, which I understand, but at some point you have to be able to take a risk, and this is what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely. And you are taking it's going to be something good for both of you.
Exactly.
Your resume. You're a good fighter, he's also a good fighter, so that's very exciting. We all are very excited to watch that fight. Now tell me, what weight class are you fighting in?
We're fighting at we're supposed to meet at 132, so I usually fight at 130, which would be the super featherweight division.
And who's in that weight class that you take a look at?
As of right now, I mean, I feel like it's still too early. I still need to mature more as a fighter. So as far as like maybe calling out big names, not there yet. But I obviously one day at some point in my career, I hope to be up there, mentioned in the big names, in the big leagues, and going for a world title.
Absolutely, and that you're already on your way there. Like we said, the upcoming fight is going to be a great test for you, for him, once again. But it's also a great test for you to learn that skill that is needed to make it to that world title fight that you're so longing for, right?
Exactly. So as far as like training camp goes, I'm trying new things. I'm working on new techniques, I'm working new strategies, and anything that's going to give me that edge and that advantage over this fighter that, we've been studying, we've been looking at. So, as far as like something to be worried about, I don't feel like there's something too much to be worried about. As long as we play our cards right and we go in there with our game plan and our various game plans, we're gonna come out with the W, and it's gonna be good in my resume.
Let's go, let's do it. Now tell me, what led you to this sport?
Honestly, like man, when I was a young kid, in and out of juvie, and gangs. No, I'm just kidding. No. Well, I mean, at least for me, like I've always got into like that physical aspect of any type of like activity. When I was a little kid, I used to be chubby. I was never really athletic. When I got to high school, that's when I played football. I started getting into more of that physical. Once my high school was coming to an end, I got into wanting to do MMA first. My dad was like, go ahead, and how come you don't try boxing first? So I did that. I went ahead and I started a gym here in East LA. They tore the gym down. I mean, since the first week I fell in love with the sport, and as far as me, like coming where I grew up in, is like it's tough areas. I was robbed twice at gunpoint and that's actually true. I actually was robbed at gunpoint on my way to school, so it's either like you gotta find which kind of path to take in life, especially coming up where I know a lot of fighters that come up where I'm coming up from, and is you gotta choose your right path. And luckily for me, I was able to find boxing, and ever since the first day I fell in love with it, and I kept on going and put my all into it.
That's right. That's an amazing story. It goes from growing up in the hood, like most of us do.
Exactly.
And that's perfect that you said, you have to choose the destiny. It's either you succeed in life or you actually, go in the opposite direction.
You get involved with drugs, gangs, stuff like that, and then don't get me wrong, I was also involved with, you know, the wrong crowd and the wrong people and doing some things that I'm not proud of. But you know, we again, we all make decisions in life, and I'm glad that I was able to find boxing and I was able to make the right decision for my life and turn it around.
That's right. And so many can say that your story, boxing, saved your life.
Exactly.
And that's amazing, because that's what this sport does. It doesn't, you're not the first and you're not the last. That this sport is a lifesaver, a life changer, and that's amazing. Now, Oliver, is there anyone you want to thank in your corner, in your life, for this sport?
Well, first and foremost, like, you know, rest in peace, I want to give a shout out to my old coach. My very first coach was Paul Hernandez. I know a lot of people thought different of him, but you know, he was the one that introduced me into the sport and pushed me to beyond my limits that I thought were possible for myself. And for that, I will always be grateful to him. I also want to give a shout out to my coach now, Raul Morales. You know, he's been there for me. He's given me nothing but love. He showed me nothing but hospitality ever since I came to his gym, you know, and he's been there. He's been providing the knowledge for me, allowing me to become and grow into the fighter that I am today. And then for that, I will always be grateful and appreciative to him.
So that's amazing, you know, amazing to know that you have a solid team behind you that helps you day in, day out to make sure that you continue on with your journey as a fighter. I've seen a few of your fights and I've seen you develop, you know, into a fighter that you're becoming. And, you know, I'm really excited to see you come April the 2nd. You know, it's going to be a great fight. I already know. I know your potential. I've heard so much and I'm really excited. Now, Oliver, where can people follow you on Instagram?
You guys can follow me on Instagram, master_olive. I do have another page that I don't really use. It's called Official El Gallo Negro. But yeah, Master Olive is my #1 page. I'm also on Facebook. I don't really use Facebook that much. So, I mean, Instagram is the main place. You guys can hit me up. You know, if anybody has questions or you guys just want to get to know me, just go ahead, give me a follow, ask me some questions. You know, sky's the limit, at least for me, the way I think about this sport, you know. So I'm just going to keep going, and I appreciate anybody that's willing to join me along this journey.
Awesome, awesome. So there you have it, April the 2nd, the Derby Room, Pomona, California. Oliver El Gallo Negro, Galicia. Stay tuned. If you haven't gotten your tickets, go to MarvNation.com. You can get them there. You don't want to miss.